My name is Naya, and I am from New York. Growing up in New York was it was pretty cool. Experienced a lot of things. I didn't grow up with my parents. I grew up with my grandmother, and I'm thankful for that. Even though as a kid and growing up, I kind of had a lot of resentment towards that because I didn't grow up with my parents. But I realized in the end, as I got older, that growing up with my grandmother was probably the best thing that could have happened to me. I'm really thankful now that I have such an awesome relationship with my dad. Growing up, I didn't have that relationship with my mom so much, so and it's now just starting to restore now. But it's kind of one of those things that I've had to teach. I've had to learn how to forgive, and you can have so much anger bottled up inside of you. And I had that as a kid, so much anger because my parents weren't there, and learning to let that go, and learning that forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice. And having to make that choice and decide, okay, I'm going to forgive. And then knowing that, okay, my feelings are not going to necessarily automatically follow my choice, but one day it will. One day I will start to feel. The more I say, I choose to forgive you, I choose to forgive you, one day it will, all of a sudden, it will get easier and easier for me to forgive.
Mi nombre es Ivana y tengo 20 años y nací en Argentina, en Buenos Aires. Vine a vivir a Australia a los 18 años y bueno, estuve estudiando 2 años acá en Australia y al final de los estudios tuve un accidente de auto. Estábamos manejando con unas amigas y perdimos el control del auto y chocamos contra un poste. Y yo me acuerdo esa mañana esperando en el auto, esperando a que viniera la ambulancia a sacarnos del auto. Qué loco que en un instante te puede cambiar la vida, ¿no? Qué loco que uno se levanta una mañana esperando ir al colegio y termina en el hospital. Me acuerdo que llegaron los bomberos, llegó la ambulancia, tuvieron que romper las puertas del auto para poder sacarnos. Y cuando llegué al hospital, lo que yo pensé que simplemente iba a ser unos moretones, dije, bueno, unos golpes y ya está. Resultó ser que el diafragma se me partió a la mitad y que el estómago se me subió al pecho y tenía moretones en los riñones y el vaso estaba tan dañado que me tuvieron que sacar el vaso y tuve varias fracturas en la mano derecha y también una fractura en la columna vertebral.
I'm Sabi. I'm from Germany, but also Australian because my dad's German, my mom's Australian. I grew up in Germany. I'm the eldest of 6 kids. I have 1 sister and 4 brothers. Well, for one thing, I was depressed. I was suicidal. I had a few things going on in my life. A few things like, obviously there's, always heart involved. There's always different things than just that. But that was one of the things. Depressed. I wasn't able to get out of bed for a time, being like once it was pretty bad. I wasn't able to get out of bed for 3 days. I was constantly praying to someone saying, please kill me now, because I didn't think like my life was worth living. I didn't really feel any purpose in life. Well, friends, they become aware of it, and they come alongside and they want to help you because they see that, you're going down the destructive road, especially if you start behaving in a very destructive way. When you start, hurting yourself and, doing things to destroy yourself. People that love you, they can't watch, and it's pretty tough for them. So they came alongside me and tried to help me.
As a kid, I had, one of the biggest issues I had was with dying, with death. I was scared to death of dying. And that kind of ruled, I think it started as a teenager it started. And I was so scared. I remember telling my grandmother, writing out a will one day and saying to my grandmother, okay, I want you to give my Nintendo to this friend. I want you to give my stereo to this friend. I was just so positive and so sure that I was gonna die such an early death. And that was something that kind of ruled my life from like 13 years old all the way up and until about 21 years old. I thought I was gonna die just at any time. 9/11 was something that every New Yorker kind of just it hit home big time. It was just so hard for me to deal with, and that's when I feel like that was my breaking point, when the Twin Towers came down. Nobody knew that was gonna happen that day. All those people went into that building, had no idea that they were gonna die that day, and I think that was the one point where I said, okay, I can't do this anymore. My fear of death, coupled with the fact that almost 3,000 people, if not 3,000 people died that day, had no clue. It was just like something that was just like, it broke in me and said, okay, I have to get my life right. So it was kind of like a quest. I went on this quest after God, and it was just like, okay, God, you have to do something. I mean, I really didn't know how to pray right. I didn't know how to do anything at that time. I wasn't going to church. I wasn't going to anything. And in my family, I have a Christian side of the family and I have a Muslim side of the family. So it's kind of like a, okay, which one do you believe in type thing. And during that time, after 9/11, I just remember just saying, God, you have to do something in me. You have to change. Show me which one, show me what to believe. Show me how to believe in you, how to go after you, because if I do die unexpectedly one day, I don't want to go to hell.
One thing that helped me is just to start dreaming again, just to realize that I'm not on this earth for no purpose at all, but that I was, put here for a reason. And I didn't want to commit suicide because I got to the point that I said, what's around the next corner? Because if I give up, maybe the breakthrough would have been around the next corner. Maybe something better is going to come. So I just didn't give up, and I didn't want to hurt anyone else around me because I thought it was pretty egoistic to put that kind of pressure or that hurt and pain onto people. I rediscovered my love for dance, and I started dancing again, and that totally helped me overcome too, because because dancing for me is life and joy. And the more I started dancing, that also helped me again to start dreaming again, and that's how I basically overcome.
Es tan loco porque uno a veces vive estas circunstancias que no se imagina que le van a pasar a uno, pero bueno, qué sé yo, simplemente cosas que pasan, pero aprendes a valorar las cosas de una forma tan distinta. Porque me acuerdo la primera semana no podía moverme de la cama, como tenía la fractura en la espalda, tenían que estar acostada sin poder moverme, sin poder comer, sin poder tomar. Entonces me acuerdo que me mojaba un poquito los labios con agua para aunque sea poder hablar, porque se me secaba tanto la boca que no podía ni hablar. Y todas esas situaciones te llevan a valorar tanto las cosas simples de la vida, como poder tomar un vaso de agua o poder comer o cosas así. Me acuerdo el primer día que pude comer después de tantos días sin poder comer y sin poder tomar agua, la alegría que tenía, o sea, no podía, yo decía, es algo que hacemos siempre, lo hacemos todos los días, pero cuando pasa tanto tiempo que no lo puedes hacer, lo valorás de una forma tan distinta, ¿no?
I'm actually not sure what's going to happen the next season. I have a lot of dreams, a lot of things I want to do. We'll see. Like, I might continue on in next year college. We'll see. I might go out and study something somewhere else. Like, I was thinking about fitness and nutrition just because that's a big thing. I think you can help a lot of people. Like, I've seen different projects in Germany, in Europe, all the dance movies coming out over the last couple of years, and how dance can totally impact on people and how they can change people and put value on people, and help them to dream so they can achieve something bigger for their lives than they have now.
Durante el accidente y las semanas que estuve en el hospital, como que ni me di cuenta de lo grave que era, pero ahora mirando para atrás me di cuenta que realmente estuve cerca de la muerte, y aún los doctores decían que era imposible que yo estuviera caminando, que tenía que estar en una silla de ruedas. Y realmente veo que esta es como una segunda oportunidad que Dios me está dando, un nuevo comienzo para seguir adelante, para tomar nuevos desafíos, para seguir viviendo, ¿no?
Now I think I've grown so much because I've come from a household where, You know, it was my grandmother raising me because I've seen and was exposed to so much living in New York. And now being able to travel the world and now living in Australia, I think I've grown so much in so many different ways. I've learned to take life serious. After having such a fear of death in my teenage years all the way up into my early 20s, I feel like now I have a grasp on life and not walking around with such a fear that I may die any second or what's going to happen after I die and different things like that. I feel like now I kind of take life by the horns in a sense, and just really kind of live life. I live life with intention now, you know? I think that's a big thing, just when you get up, living life, living each day with intention and doing things for a purpose, living life on purpose.